Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspired Woman, and today we are talking about all things crazy and fun. Friday the 13th. The Friday the 13th has some amazing energy. We're going to talk about all of that and so much more. So hold on just a little bit. We're going to be getting people on, connected in. So hold on just a second. This is my first time to add everybody in. Let's see if I can. Let me see. My nose is a little itchy today. Okay. Hi, Miss Jenny Bug. How are you doing? Sorry, my throat is just been kind of crazy with all of this. So, I know. Let's see. I know. So, has anybody ever had anything crazy happen to them on Friday the 13th? I think that's kind of like one of the cool ones. I think it has some strange energy and strange good and strange weird sometimes. So, just know it happens that way. So, I am looking forward to that. Um, that is a really good one for most people because they do not always get into the craziest energy. I know, I'm trying to get everybody on at the same time. I have not seen. Are you on there, Stacy? I can hear you, Stacy. You're live.
It's not letting me put my video on.
Camera.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
There you go.
Microphone. Give camera. Cannot turn on the camera. So is your camera on?
It is.
Okay, but it keeps telling me that I doesn't have access to the camera.
Okay.
Does not have access to the join. This is kind of fun.
Yeah, we're learning here.
We are so much learning. That's kind of the fun part of life.
I wonder if it has to do with because this is the first time TikTok me trying to join. I know I don't have the required users to do a live myself.
Oh.
I should be able to join yours.
Right.
I'm gonna jump off and come back in. I'm gonna check my camera real quick.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, do that. But okay, so who has had crazy things happen on Friday the 13th and you really like blamed Friday the 13th? Because I think Friday the 13th gets blamed for things that really it's not doing or dealing with, because that's my energy with it. Even when I was a kid, I would hear people like, oh my gosh, it's Friday the 13th and that means it's going to be horrible or bad or whatever else. And I'm like, if you're already kind of putting that energy out there, aren't you kind of calling that to you kind of thing? But who has had something crazy happen to them on Friday the 13th? Anything, anybody? Kind of, that's kind of the energy with it. I think, like I said, I think Friday the 13th gets a bad rap for stuff that it shouldn't. But we're going to talk about like the energy, kind of really the energy between Friday the 13th and Halloween, because they have a very similar energy. They're not 100% the same, but they do have a very similar-ish energy to it. So that's kind of the energy of it. But if you are on and you have a psychic question, you can ask your psychic question. I've got my angel cards to do that. So I'm also live on 2 different platforms. So I am live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time, because being live on one platform like that is so yesterday kind of thing. It can be a little distracting too. So I try to get everybody's questions answered. Make sure you kind of stay away from words like his or hers. Oh, now he feels, or they're going to do this or whatever else. Give me a first name at least. That really helps me to kind of get a connection into the energy of what's going on. I love doing that. But we've got, let's see, we've got Jenny Bug on. Beverly is on. We've got Bonnie on. Rose is on. So what is your psychical questions? Like, what is that? And are you ready for Friday the 13th? Because like literally it's tomorrow. Friday the 13th is tomorrow, and it's going to be some really amazing energy for us. I know. That's kind of the cool part. But Friday the 13th can really bring in a lot of mystical energy as well, because it's been around for hundreds of years of being a very mystical day. Things that kind of really flip on a dime, kind of like you're going to one direction, then all of a sudden you're like, boom, going a completely different way. And you're like, wait a minute, I didn't expect that change. And I think that's really more kind of the energy of what's going on more than anything else, because that's kind of the energy of the Friday the 13th. Like you're going in one direction, then all of a sudden it's like zoom another direction, or zoom this way, and you're kind of like, wait a minute, how do I do this? How do I deal with this? That's kind of the cool part about some of this, is like when you are trying to bring things on, kind of like that energy of things, how to deal with things. That's kind of the interesting part. And I think kind of one of the energies that I love about Friday the 13th, because I love, kind of my thing to do is to do ghost tours on Friday the 13th, because the veil between the worlds is really light and easy, kind of similar to Halloween, because a lot of people, it can be kind of like that light, easy energy of like, how does it happen? How does it come on? How do we deal with this kind of energy that's where we're going with things? Kind of like, how do we change things around? How do we deal with that? Kind of that energy of it. Like, how do we connect with that energy of what is going on? How are things happening? How are going to things change? Because literally, like I said, the energy of Friday the 13th and Halloween has very similar, and it really depends on what you're believing. What are you believing is going to happen on that day? Let's see. So on TikTok, I have Beverly asking, will my daughter, that's Beverly, you know that's a loaded question, because you have like 3 or 4 granddaughters. Like you got a whole bunch of them. You got a bunch of them. Stacy, are you back on?
I am. It is not going to let me do video though. It's only going to let me do audio.
Do you want to try it on YouTube?
Can you send me an invite? It's not like you have anything else going on, right?
I don't have anything else going on. Angelina, I do not get that Angelina will be asked to homecoming. I feel like the person that she wants to be asked by, they are kind of like too shy or too like afraid of what's going on or being asked. So I kind of feel like that's where she's kind of like, or their energy is like afraid of like asking, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those, because Angelina is usually kind of the energy of it, of kind of like, how do they do this? How do they deal with this part of it? She's always with other people. Her energy can be really harsh. And so the person who really wants to ask her is kind of like a little bit shy. So it's kind of like, if she calmed her energy, she'd be more likely to get one. I know that seems really strange, but it's like the person that really wants to ask her is like really shy. So hopefully, Stacey, you got both of those emails. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But that's what I get. Anybody else has a question? Miss Angelina. And I met Miss Angelina. She is cute, 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 cute. And she has an amazing energy, amazing psychic ability. That's kind of the cool part. Yeah, I know. That's the way it goes. I would say kind of like when that person's around, like what she needs to do is kind of like not be like, she's very, expressive, kind of calming her energy a bit. That will kind of help kind of the energy of it, kind of like, how are we going to connect with that? But if she's a little bit more calm, that might make them feel like more like they can come in and ask her. But sometimes when she's really loud, it's like she's calling attention to herself, and that can cause them to kind of go, I don't want to do it. Jenny Bug is asking, what is the gender of my son's future child? Baby's due in March. That's a really hard one because baby energy is very soft no matter what. And so that's where we kind of get into the crazy part of it. Their energy is so light and easy that can really bring in some crazy energy with that. Hi, Miss Kathy. That can bring in some crazy energy with it. I feel like it would be a boy, but I'm never 100% sure until the baby's a little bit further along. But it's one of those, and I'm thinking about the right Jenny Bug you might be able to get the psychic answers. That's kind of the cool part about being a psychic. When my daughter-in-law was pregnant with my grandson, from about 4 months on, I could literally have psychic, thanks, Beverly. I could have psychic communication with him, telepathic communication with him. So that was always like a really fun one. So that's kind of the cool part. And his parents still use that ability to this day. If he doesn't feel well, he's like 15 months. So he doesn't really talk all that much, but it's kind of like, is he hurting anywhere? He had sinus stuff earlier this week. So that can kind of bring in some crazy energy on its own. So it's kind of like, yeah, where are we going with that? That's kind of the fun part. And I think Kathy, aren't you joining me for the group reading and ghost tour at the Galvez? I'm like super excited about it. I get to be in Galveston like all day tomorrow. Hopefully we have some sunny weather. I don't necessarily have to be hot, but I do want a little bit of sun. And I'm saying, like, I don't want rain. Like, who wants rain? Who wants rain when you're going to the beach? Like, no one wants rain when you're going to the beach. But I'm so excited about that, of getting to go to Galveston, getting some video. There's a couple of places I've been already thinking about doing some video stories at, because later on this month, one of my favorite days is National Ghost Hunting Day, which is September 28th this year, 26th. So I'm like really excited about that. So I wanted to get some extra videos before I'm ready for that one. But let's talk about who has had something crazy happen to them on Friday the 13th. Anybody? Anything crazy happen to you on Friday the 13th? I know for myself, I've had some amazing theory to look into. Definitely. And it really is being able to talk to them. And like I said, with the energy being so light on Friday the 13th or Halloween, that might be a good time to really see if you can connect in. Like I said, I still connect into my grandson, and he is doing great. Okay. So Reese, I'm not sure of what your question is. Can you be my grandma? I don't get that question, but ask me a real question, like the whole question, kind of like, that's kind of like an interesting one. Okay. So Kathy's, I'm not going to get to make it. Oh, she's not coming to this one. Oh, definitely Sugarland. Now on the 28th, 26th of October, I'm doing my Sugarland Healing Fair here in Sugarland. So I am just like way crazy about that. So that's kind of the cool part about it. But it's kind of like working, like meeting my healers, my people, all that kind of stuff. Hi, Miss Nicole. How are you doing? Stacy, I get it. You can't get on. Like, this is kind of crazy. We're going to have to fix this one. It's driving me crazy too. But can I talk to your grandmother? Yes, I can talk to your grandmother, but Reese, you need to really ask like a question of your grandmother. Like, do you have a question for your grandmother? Let me see. Stacy, what does that do? I put you as a managing mediator. See if that does anything. I have no idea. Kind of like but that's kind of the fun one for things of kind of like, this is what we get to do, because maybe I need to go back to StreamYard. Hello, Miss Shelley. How are you doing? But that's kind of the, let's see. But does anybody have any psychical questions? That's one of the things I love. Make sure your question is really clear. I know Reese tried and everything else. It can be a little one, but make sure that you do this. Kathy's like, I think the Sugarland event is going to be so much fun and looking forward to it. I get asked so many times to share like my massage therapist, my Reiki masters, my all that kind of stuff. I get asked it all the time. And this way you get to meet them all at the same time. If you want to set an appointment, you want to talk to them or any of those. Now, one of the secret ones I am super excited about is my crystal person is coming in. So I am super excited about that. My crystal person is coming in and she has an amazing energy. I guarantee you just an amazing energy of just bringing in all kinds of stuff. Now she lives in Arkansas and she pulls the crystals out of the ground and then she makes them into necklaces and chains and bracelets and all kinds of stuff. So it's literally pulled out of the ground. Wondering if you can see me off. Sorry. Yeah, that may be true, Stacy. I wish I could put you up here. Nicole's asking, I may lose custody of my daughter for speaking up about the abuse towards my daughter. Any angels or guides have any advice or clarity? I will say, Nicole, what I get is keep speaking the truth and you're not going to lose your daughter. If you change like midstream and start saying like backpedaling or whatever else, don't. Keep in the truth of things with everything that's going on in the world. Keep in the truth of things and that will bring things along. That will really help the energy. Just keep professing the truth. This is what you know is true. This is what happened. All kinds of questions. That is a great one. So just know that you've got to be hanging on to that amazing energy with her and speaking the truth. You're very welcome, Nicole. All kinds of questions, but can you pull an angel card? Okay, for Miss Kathy, this one right here. Okay. So Kathy, I get support and I feel like you have been giving support to people for a while and now it's your time to ask for support. And it doesn't mean like you need to ask for the same type of support you've been giving, but it's one of those, it's been very one-sided. You are not requiring the balance, the relationship of your friends that you've been around or family that you've been around. You have been giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And I will tell you, you're not getting, the balance back in there. You just keep giving. And it's one of those, I see this a lot with clairsensitives where they keep giving and gifting and gifting and gifting, like their energy, their time, their resources, all that kind of stuff, but they don't always get that back. And that's where it's really important that you get this back. Otherwise you get out of balance with everybody else. And it's one of those, that's not good either. So make sure that you're asking for the support you require, whatever that is. Voice it out so it makes it a little bit easier and gets into that amazing energy of us. Like, yes, here we go, here we go. Well, we were supposed to have Miss Melissa come on. She is the ghostess of Galvez, of Galveston, and she is literally an amazing, 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 amazing energy. Because I think it's kind of cool. Like she does the ghost tour. And she has abilities, but she's not adding that to her realm. It's one of those, like, she just loves telling the stories of the Galvez. Have y'all ever been to the Galvez? Like, oh my gosh, the Galvez is gorgeous. And it has been like 1911. Oh my gosh, it's been there forever. So the Galvez being that energy, you're very welcome, Kathy, is really cool with that amazing energy. But her being the ghostess of Galvez, she does the ghost tours. Now, when I get to join her, I am so excited I get to join because I get to teach you to kind of like how to connect into the ghost and connect out of the ghost, where the ghosts are hiding, all that kind of fun stuff. It is beautiful. We're talking like beautiful, beautiful. And I want to say, like, every time I turn around, they are fixing or mending something and upgrading because and decorations. Oh my gosh, that place is amazing. It is amazing. But I will be doing a ghost tour and a group reading tomorrow night at the Galvez. And I love doing it on Friday the 13th because there is like such an amazing energy. So that's kind of like our topic tonight kind of thing. So has anybody ever had something crazy happen on Friday the 13th? Now, I will tell you, it's very similar to Halloween because you are more open. She's not on TikTok. She is we can like the energy of it is you can have in the bathroom. I literally, when I was in the bathroom this last time, was it this last time that I did it? I think it was. I caught the ghost in the bathroom in the picture, and he joins your pictures. That's kind of the cool part. Now, one of the other ones is I love going up to the different floors because each of the floors have kind of like several different ghosts on them. So, have y'all ever been on a ghost tour on Friday the 13th? That is super fun. The going on the different energy because you're kind of like walking through the different ones. Literally, we did a ghost tour like 2 or 3 times ago, and we only do it like once or twice a year. So I was going to say like it was like 2 or 3 years ago. We went up to a floor and literally the doors opened. We were supposed to be on like floor number 5 or something like that, and opened up to number 7. I was like, we didn't pick that floor. We didn't even like that wouldn't even lit. And oh my gosh, it was like literally bringing us to that energy. We got to get out and walk around a little bit and kind of connect with the energy. A couple of people got some ghost messages. That's always a fun one. And then the next one is coming through is that it kind of comes in with like this amazing energy of like bringing us kind of like this energy of like how to connect, where to connect, all this kind of stuff. That is going to be the amazing part. I will say that's kind of the cool part about kind of like bringing in amazing energy. Anytime the veil between the worlds is lighter, it's easier to channel or bring in energy from the other side. Talking to a ghost, connecting with the ghost, feeling a ghost energy, all of that kind of stuff is easier at different times. That's why I love doing ghost tours on Friday the 13th because that veil is very, very thin, like Halloween. That allows that energy to kind of pass through a little bit easier. You're more likely to get amazing messages, different energy. All of that is kind of the cool part about all this. It is going to be amazing. I love it. I totally love this part. Now, the veil between the energies between Friday the 13th and Halloween is really, really light. Although Halloween, because more people believe in it, is super, super, super light, where the one with Friday the 13th can be, it depends on who you're around. If you're around a lot of believers, like it's going to be crazy energy, you're going to have that crazy energy. I literally get ghosts all up and down my hallway, and it's usually about literally by this time before Friday the 13th, I start getting energy coming in. I kind of get that crazy stuff moving around, kind of all that kind of stuff. I've had a client that needed me like right away before we started the live, and literally her dad stepped in and I could like feel his energy stronger than I have ever in the past. I was like, oh, he just walked in. He's huge. And it was so much fun. We had a great time. We had a great session, but it's like that's kind of the cool part is like that energy is always coming in and correcting and changing and moving through. That's kind of the cool part about some of this is like, yeah, it's coming through. But if anybody joining in wants an angel card reading, you can ask me for an angel card. You can ask me for information, that anything kind of like whatever your question is, I'm here. I kind of get to say hi to everybody, see what's coming through. Did I miss anybody? Sometimes on TikTok, I forget to say hi to people, and you don't have to do that on YouTube. But does anybody have any other questions? Anything else? Friday the 13th related, Halloween related, anything that's coming up, because this is going to be an amazing time. Sharon is asking, will I hear from my daughter that passed in May? You will. A lot of times when we have someone that's really close to us that's passed, sometimes we don't always get that message. Sometimes we'll get that kind of like, I call it kind of like the coming back message of like, I made it there kind of message, but it's one of those we don't always get the whole super connection, easy to communicate with kind of energy. And that's where it can be a little frustrating, because it's like, this is our friend. We want them to join in. We want them to be there with us. But a lot of times it doesn't work that way, or we would hope for it to work that way, but it really doesn't work that way. But sometimes it takes a little bit longer. I will tell you, it's easier for me to connect with other people's family members than it is my own. I've only channeled my mom, and my mom's been gone like 20 something years. I've probably only channeled her like 4 or 5 times. I will say my dad maybe 3 or 4 times, like not very often. Usually, like I said, it's usually easier to connect with other people's family members than your own. You can always ask for a message and see what's coming through, or where is this connected, or what's coming up next. That's kind of the cool part about it. But it's one of those, like, literally get great messages. You're probably going to do better trying to talk to your angels and guides, or get a message from her through them, than anything else. It can be a little bit difficult, because if we don't ever feel separated, then we never really get to grieve that loss. I know we have the rest of our lives to grieve that loss, but it's kind of like you don't do that. And so a lot of times they will not allow them to come back. That's kind of the interesting part of it, the interesting part of things. But I think that's kind of the cool part. Like I said, people really get to okay, so Stacy's asking, if someone gets nervous about going on the tour, what do you say to ease their fears and encourage them to have the experience? Now, one of the things that I tell people is, when I go on ghost tours, I bring all the good stuff. I bring all the crazy good stuff with me. So what I love to do is I love to clear out the energy. I make sure that you are not going home with any ghost, any extra ones than what you showed up with. So I love that part. But it's one of those, the more open you are to the process, the more likely you're to see a ghost. But I will tell you, it's not like TV where they're going to come and touch you and scare you or knock you over or whatever else. That's usually put on for the cameras. Like, it's someone putting on a show. It's not necessarily like this amazing energy that's happening. They're like prompting the ghost to do something, and then they react to it like, oh my gosh, they're doing this. Most of the time, the ghosts just want to tell you that they're there, or show you themselves, or kind of like, look at me, I'm still here. So that's kind of the cool part about it. That's kind of the fun part about it. So yeah, that's kind of the cool part about it. So just know that happens. But I never let any of my people go home with any crazy energy. I check all their energy, literally almost every place that we go in the hotel. And we can go to, sometimes it's 5 or 6, it just depends. And we will go to different places. And then we will like make sure that all of the stuff is off, because I'm always checking. She's also asking, Stacy's asking, do you think the spirits at the Galvez are mischievous or friendly? Now, the one Kathy and I were talking about earlier, the one in the bathroom, he is very mischievous, because a lot of times, and I've seen a lot of selfies taken in bathrooms with the mirrors, because the bathrooms are really pretty. And so when people hold up the cameras and they're taking that picture, what it's one is what they're seeing is, like, they don't see it then, but when you look at the picture later on, all of a sudden he'll jump out at you, kind of like, oh my gosh, there was a ghost right behind us. That's kind of the cool part about it. But the ghosts at the Galvez are very friendly. They love to show off. They kind of love to connect to your energy. But I will tell you, some of them are just friendly, and some of them are kind of mischievous a little bit. Like, you didn't think anything was there, and then all of a sudden you feel something like, wait, I feel some energy here that I didn't feel before. It's kind of like, yeah, they're there. Their energy is there. But I will tell you, the best place to have the crazy ones, the crazy energy, is in the big ballroom, because that's where a lot of the kids are. That's the fun one. They are all over the place. They are kind of like that crazy energy they passed away in the 1900 hurricane. So they've been there for quite a while, but they love to connect to our energy. I have seen them like climbing the poles all the way to the top. I've seen them playing around the top, the curtains, all of that kind of stuff. And we're talking like it's like 20 something feet in the air. So it's not like little bitty. This is like way up there. They are coming in, they're connecting with our energy, and they want you to know that they're there. Now, I have gotten a couple of crazy pictures from clients with the bar that they have in that grand ballroom of pictures of kids in there, like making funny faces, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, yeah, they love to kind of bring that energy on, which makes it so much more fun, right? I mean, like, I love the ghost stories, but I love connecting to the energy even more. That's kind of my thing. I love talking to ghosts. I love getting their stories, what they did in life, where they went in life, what they did this, all that kind of stuff. Now, if y'all have any questions about ghost tours, ghosts, or anything else, or if you want to just ask me to pull a card for you. I know my voice is cracking up. I've been talking all day. I can pull an angel card for you, or you can just ask me a question outright. Once I get my energy connected to someone else, I'm like, boom, here we go. But I think the Galvez, and they will be decorated, not completely for Halloween, but they will start their Halloween decorations. So that is like, love it. Okay, Miss Stacy. Miss Stacy wants a card. Okay. That's the card right there. So Miss Stacy, children. Doesn't mean you want to have no children. It doesn't have anything to do with that. The card children is all about like a childlike idea of what's about to happen or what's going to create. And the more that you keep creating this childlike kind of view in the world, the more fun childlike things are going to happen. Opportunities to travel, opportunities to go places, and kind of like pushing your career out further and further. And I do feel like when you do that and you keep that crazy good childlike energy with you, like, let's have some fun, let's enjoy this is different, but let's go with it, that is going to be an amazing energy for you, and that is going to be bringing up some really cool stuff for you. So the more childlike energy you bring in, the better off it's going to be, the more fun you're going to have, the more places are going to go. Okay, Brenda is asking for an angel card. Okay, here we go, Miss Brenda. That is your card right there, Miss Brenda. Miss Brenda. And for you, I pull the card retreat. And what I get about all of this retreat energy for you is it's really kind of, you have known that for a while that you needed a retreat, that you kind of needed to take a break. You needed to step back a little bit more. That's kind of the energy with what's going on. Hi, Miss Melissa. Sorry we couldn't get you on. I'm so sad. But for Brenda, I would say retreat is, and I also feel like this is coming up for like the 17th, the lunar eclipse that we have on the 17th. Stay out of that energy, relax, and I would probably even do a salt tub to kind of even retreat your energy even more. Okay, Miss Melissa says, pull a card. This is your card, Miss Melissa, right here is signs. You have been getting signs that you've got to make some changes, some signs that you're ready to expand out your business in some ways. I also get that you have been wanting this for a while, but kind of like, I want, but I'm afraid, but I want, but I'm afraid, but I'm afraid, and I want, and I want. So that's kind of the interesting part for you, Melissa, is you have to kind of step into this. It doesn't mean you need to step into it 100%, but once you do, it'll make it much easier. And I guarantee there is going to be some changing energy in what's going on. Follow the sign. That's the best way to put it. Follow your angels from one sign to the next sign, to the next sign, to the next sign, because they are there and they love connecting with your energy. They love doing all of this with us. And a lot of times people really think like, oh, my angels and guides are supposed to tell me what to do. No, they are not supposed to tell you what to do. What what they're supposed to do is help you along your path, like help you with what you're supposed to be doing or how you're supposed to be creating things or how you're supposed to change to connect into this energy a little bit better. So just know that this is all about what's about to happen, how it's going to happen, or anything else. I guarantee you things are changing around you. You just have to be looking for those signs that now is the time to go. And I've been working on doing my own angel card, so that has been kind of fun. I have had this set like 20 something years. I know it's been a while, but I've been working on my own ones, kind of bringing things up, and I love creating them as well. It's kind of been really fun. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Miss Melissa. So I've got Sharon on TikTok asking to pull a card for her. Sharon on TikTok. I kind of feel like this one, don't you think, Sharon? I think this is your card. Okay, Miss Sharon, you keep saying that you want peace and harmony, peace and harmony, peace and harmony, but it's almost like you're contradicting yourself. Like you say that you want peace and harmony and you want this to be calm and peaceful, but then you keep letting the crazy back in. You keep letting the chaos come back in over and over and over again. So this is kind of like your sign of like, if you want this, you need to keep that. You keep allowing the people that are bringing the crazy energy, the chaotic energy over and over and over and over again. You keep letting them back in when you should let them go. And it's one of those like giving yourself a little bit of a distance so that you're not around that all the time, because you want peace and calm, but it's one of those, what you're doing is not creating the peace and harm. And it's one of those, I would almost feel like there's also a narcissistic energy around you, and they often do that where they tell you, it's kind of like, oh, I want this person to be peaceful, but it's kind of like what they want to do is like damper that energy so their energy can soar up even more. That can be a little crazy on both ends. I will say, if you have a lot more questions, we may do a private session on that one to get you some more information on there. But anything else, I think Friday the 13th energy is amazing. Now, one of the other things, and I so wish my Miss Melissa could be on with me. Maybe we'll do something tomorrow, Melissa. We'll do something. But one of the things is we were already talking about doing another ghost tour. So there may be another one coming up, but not right away. But maybe one more before the end of the year is over. That is going to be a really fun one. So that could be another time. If you can't make it to the one tomorrow, we may have another one coming up. So people can kind of get into that amazing energy. I think amazing energy is going to be all over. It started tonight. Friday the 13th is going to be amazing energy. Know that it can shift and change on you in a split second. Like you're going one direction, then all of a sudden it's like, boom, here we go to a different way. Kind of that's the energy that comes in with Friday the 13th. It can also happen on Halloween. It can also happen El Dia de Muertos, can bring that in as well. So kind of having that crazy kind of energy coming in, that's kind of what can happen. But just know that the changes are coming to kind of give you a new insight, a new lead, a new life purpose, new energy. Yeah, that's the cool part. That's the fun part. Yeah, it's the way it goes. And I will say, a lot of people really come in with some amazing energy, ready to make some changes to Friday the 13th or Halloween. And a lot of times, like, they're like, I didn't expect that kind of change. I didn't expect this kind of change. I didn't expect this. And I was like, expect the fun stuff, expect the cool stuff. Kind of like Stacey's card that I pulled earlier, kind of be like a child, like whatever I get, I'm going to be so happy with. That's the fun part of it. And that's the crazy cool part about connecting with this energy. Coming to a lot of times people come to me on Friday the 13th or around that time frame because they're really wanting to connect to that amazing energy as well. That is going to be a really cool one tomorrow night. We are going to be in Galveston probably from like 2:00 on. I've got a private reading. I've got a group reading with a couple of clients. And then I've got the stuff at the Galvez. So the Galvez is the cool part because that hotel is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it's always decorated to the hilt. I mean, it is beautiful. And then you've got Peacock Alley, where it's like everybody just, like, you just walk and it's like you just feel like you're on a stage because it's so much fun. You have so much energy in that area. It is going to be an amazing night. I guarantee you it is going to be an amazing night. I still do have a few tickets available if you're interested in getting them. If you want to go to my website at www.ruththeresa, all one word, Theresa spelled with an H, THERESA.com/events/. It is the best way to, and easiest way to go in there. You can also schedule readings through that part or communicate with me if you have any questions of what's going on. But I think that's the cool part. Friday the 13th is coming in with some amazing energy, and you've got to be ready to make that changes. Anybody else before we jump off? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else want an angel card reading? Any kind of information that's coming through? And I think, Melissa, I think I'm bringing my angel cards with me for tomorrow. I think they're going to be jumping in the bag with me. So we might do some angel card readings tomorrow. That'll be a really fun one. Angel card readings are really fun. Amazing energy. Does anybody have any last minute angel card questions? Any last minute stuff? Anything else? Because Friday the 13th is going to be some crazy, cool, amazing energy, and know that things are going to shift and change around you, and keep asking your angels and guides to bring in that amazing energy. What's coming up next? How are we going to do this? How are we going to change this? How are we going to modify it? That's the cool part. That's the, yeah, we're ready for this. That's going to be the really, really cool part. I know. Okay, guys, I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I will be at the Galvez tomorrow for a group reading, ghost tour and group reading. I will be have the Sugarland Healing Fair on the 26th of October. I may be back to the Galvez before the end of the year if everything works out well for another ghost tour and group reading, and we may have 2-day event with that one. So that'll be really, really cool. I may even do some private sessions while I'm at the Galvez. So that usually is kind of the cool part. I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Y'all have an amazing night, and I will see you guys soon. Have a good one.